welcome to another vlog here on the World of Coasters. Here with Louise today as we come back to Thorpe Park for the first day of the 2022 season. We missed the annual pass day last week because we were at Alton Towers, weren't we though?
Yeah.
So it was really
fun that day. It was
very busy, but here was absolutely dead from what we saw. Loads of changes around Thorpe Park, just from what we're seeing here. Lots of little things going on. They're putting the play park back down behind depth charge.
Oh no, depth charge is going to be closed today.
Oh no! I'm excited to get out on some of the UK's best roller coasters, including the Swarm, Nemesis Inferno.
My number one.
Oh, number one. It is. It's brilliant, the Swarm. It's where we're going first. Celebrating its 10-year anniversary this year. Obviously, this one opened in 2012, and Colossus is celebrating 20 years, which I wonder if I'll get Louise on, because she's not the biggest fan of Colossus. Worst case, we'll get you on Inversion at Flamingo Land later in the year when it opens up. But yeah, let's head into Swarm Island and get our first ride of the day on. So as we come through the entrance portal, they've got new signage all the way along here. All legalised aliens and all that. Looks like they've just been doing basic touch-up, but I like all these. You like them though. Got the old project name on that, LC12, Welcome Aliens. So yeah, the area's had a bit of TLC to it, general boarding. Looks like they're actually going to be getting the Swarm supplies back open as it's got new signage on it. So yeah, it's good to see. Just off the bat, so much work going on. The water effect for the fire truck has been fixed. I don't think the fireball effect works on this anymore. I think that is obsolete now. But yeah, no queue for the Swarm at the moment, which I'm never going to complain about. I love the Swarm. It's only bested by Icon. This 2012 B&M wing coaster is the only one in the UK. I think it was the second one ever built after Raptor at Gardaland. I love a ride on the Swarm. I can't believe that is 10 years old on this season, like I was going to say today. We went for a front row, we got on the left-hand side in the end, which is going under on the first dive. You got a bit wet. I didn't, I was fine. But yeah, we're going to head over towards Saw, Colossus, that sort of way, have a look and see what's going on with Project Exodus, as the park did put their planning permission the other day for that. Yeah, I would like to, because last season on that, they had it where you could only go with a group of 4, couldn't they?
Yeah.
So if we head towards Colossus, Saw, that sort of direction, we'll have a look what's going on. So one thing I did forget to mention is how beautiful the weather is today. Well, that goes without saying, but you know, it's 17 degrees today. No, it's 17 degrees today, so I'm for the first time this year rocking the shorts, the lily whites out. I think it was like this last season, absolutely beautiful blue skies. I've actually had to whip out the sun cream, haven't we? Because like, you're going to burn in this sort of sun. It's not hot, but if you're out in it all day, you will burn. So we're taking a little diversion on our way around. We're going to head round the back to Old Town. Setting up a stage in a Mitty at the moment. Just looks like a little simple stage where small shows will go on throughout the day. I was just thinking, Lou, as we're going past, do you want to go over towards Walking Dead the ride? It's on a walk-on. It's a walk on the Walking Dead.
I actually like the Walking Dead.
I think that's your controversial thing. Like,
I actually enjoy it. I actually am scared.
It is all right. Like, in my opinion, I preferred X No Way Out, but then they turned it to X, and everyone raved over it, so it was amazing. I was a bit like, it's meh. I think The Walking Dead really brought some new life to it. Obviously, you've got the pre-show, the walkthrough, which is like, you know, it makes a little family ride really scary.
Like, I wouldn't be able to walk through it on my own.
Oh, bless. Been on this on my own many a time. And it's got some brilliant theme, and obviously being sponsored by AMC, the company that own the Walking Dead rights, has to be up to a higher standard. But yeah, look, we're looking at a walk-on. So let's head down the main entrance, get a quick ride on the old Vekoma family coaster inside this pyramid. So we've actually got some new theming, just some simple burlap bags with some heads and body parts in it. Overall, nothing too much changing, a few little barrels. Looks like they've actually planted some flowers out here as well, just to make the dead atmosphere look a bit more lively. I mean, it's not the greatest coaster in the world, but the effects all work. It's got relatively good theming. The only downside I don't like about it is what they did last year. They put these new emergency lights in, and they've all got green LEDs on them. It lights up the building too much. Before you couldn't see much. But yeah, great ride on that. All the effects working as normal. I think we're going to have a look in the Mega Store now and see if they've got any new merch on offer. So not much in the way of new merch. I think some of these t-shirts might be new, but the designs were from the summer event they did last year. I can't think of the name of it now. It wasn't Summer of Fun, that was Alton Towers. But yeah, they've got all of this merch for all of the rides, including socks, which is quite interesting. Other than that, like I say, not really much more in the way of merch here. I don't really pay much attention to the merch here, but it looks all quite familiar. I do like a lot of the stuff here. Yeah, for those of you wondering on prices, £22 for the t-shirts, that's pretty standard across the board here. Some of them are 20, it depends whether they're embroidered or not. But yeah, the shop's fully open now. You couldn't come out of the 60 for the longest time. Any new pins, Lou? No, not really. They seem to have neglected their pins this season. We've still got Christmas 2021 pins here, which we saw in Alton Towers. Where was it at Alton Towers? We saw Christmas 2019, 2020? Like a good couple of seasons ago. But yeah, not a lot in the way of pins or new merch in this store. So around in front of Tidal Wave, the drink stand is now gone. They don't have the freestyle machine here. It's been moved to a different location. They still have water refills. These are dotted a lot more around the park now, which is good to see. Crowd levels at the moment, it's not massively busy, but I think it's going to be busier than last week. Angry Birds Land is still standing. I think the plan is now, we were going to head round to Colossus and Thorpe, but they've got like a 40-50 minute wait. Yeah, so we're heading round towards Stealth, Rumble Rapids, maybe Nemesis. Have a look at Detonator. I love a ride on Detonator. 2001 Farbury Drop Tower. Haven't actually seen or heard it. You normally hear this one when you come into the park. But yeah, not a lot of work going on at Angry Birds Land. I would expect this to be going soon because like it's really outdated, isn't it though? When was the last time anyone played Angry Birds? A million years ago. But yeah, I think we're going to go on Detonator. It's just queuing literally maybe 2 cycles, I reckon that'll be. It's just at the top. New signage though on Detonator, which is good to see. Maybe that's a sign that it is going to be staying. And the Flock Shop also has new signage. This is where Sparks Superstore was last year for Fright Nights.
The gondola will be dropping in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, the Fabry Drop Tower. I love it. It's just such a good little drop tower. Got good force to it, even though it's small. Are we going on to the rapids first? Then Stealth or Stealth on the rapids? But yeah, the one thing I'd say about that ride is Thorpe Park, especially if they're going to get Exodus, they need to invest in a larger drop tower. Like, come on, go 150, 200 feet, maybe get an Intamin one, or just something. Sorry, what? Flying Fish is closed, but more importantly, Nemesis Inferno is closed. Don't know how long for. I'm not sure if the Rapids is open yet. We'll soon have a look because, normally they don't open this one till like 11 o'clock midday. But we'll have a look. We're just heading around that way now. Failing that, we got the 2006 Intamin Accelerator Coaster. That is Stealth, currently the highest ride in the park. But Lou, hopefully not for much longer. If the planning permission is approved, which is looking very much like it will be, we're going to be looking up at the other end of the park at a ride that is another 31 feet higher than this. And that is going to be a Mac Mega if the plans are to be believed. Like, I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm not sure whether Rumble Rapids is actually open yet. No, it isn't. It's closed at the moment. They're just testing it now. So what we'll do is we're jumping the queue for Stealth. The park had some major troubles with Storm Eunice earlier in February, and the Dodgems has suffered. It actually had its roof ripped off, which is why there's currently a patch on top of it. I thought I'd come around and show you that before we go. Mr. Tetley T's gone. He no longer sponsors this. It's just Storm in a Teacup. That's why he went a few seasons ago. But yeah, it looks like in Stealth area they actually have a TikTok photo board. So what, are they sponsored by TikTok now, or is it just like a little plug to get TikToks in front of their ride? I don't have a TikTok account. I am in my 30s now.
I'm in my 20s, but still no.
Stealth is advertising a 35-minute queue. I think we're going to bite the bullet and go on this one. It's quite a good throughput ride. They'll be running 2 trains on it, and generally you don't wait too long. Yeah, Lou, soon this will not be the tallest ride in the park. So we can see much more of the swarm this season, as it looks like they've had a lot of trees go down with the storm recently. In seasons gone by you could barely see the swarm, but now we can see it in full glory. Only a half an hour queue there, so 5 minutes less than advertised. That was great, I do love it. It's just such a good, fast ride. Like, it's nowhere near as good as the likes of Red Force, which you never rode, did you?
I don't know if I would.
Oh, you would. That is brilliant. It's 300, oh Christ, it's over 300 foot. I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, it's 111 miles an hour, the launch on that one. It uses the LSM launch, which is a little bit slower. But yeah, a great ride nonetheless. This is the old hydraulic Intamin accelerator. We're going to head over towards the Sunken Gardens now. It's advertising a 45-minute queue now, which the queue is shorter than when we joined it. But yeah, the Sunken Gardens, for those of you who don't know, is this little like pathway off down the side here. So it goes underneath the track, and it's like a little garden. So that is the hydraulic launch station. So the cable, you'll see it as it launches, the cable goes into there. And all the cables go into there. So yeah, under the Amity Speedway you've got the Sunken Gardens here, where it's a walkthrough. So one of the main things that they've done here is, it was closed for the last couple of seasons. It's a little quiet area of the park that you can visit, and one of the Loggers Leaps boat has been moved around here because Project Exodus is now in process. They've decided to move one of the boats here, which is much better fit here, isn't it, Lou? And they've actually planted stuff in it now, so
so nice.
It does look nice. So this is the memorial to Princess Diana. She rode this back in the 90s. September 97 she came here with the 2 princes. And yeah, it looks like the whole garden's been given a facelift. Should we have a walk around, Lou, and have a look, see what we can see?
Why not?
So yeah, you used to have much more coverage around here because of the trees. Like I said while we were in the queue for Stealth, there's a lot of fallen trees, isn't there, Lou? I think the flatness of the island really had an effect on the wind as it came through the island.
It's a little golf thing, then.
No, that's where they water it, so it's got a watering post in the middle. So
I could sit there.
yeah, that looks quite nice. You can have a picnic there until it starts spraying water. But yeah, they've done a lot of work around here. Total new fencing, all landscaped around here. Like I say, not as private as it used to be. You couldn't see the queue for Stealth, you couldn't see Swarm in the past. But it's nice to have this area open. And to be honest, one day I reckon this will have a path going off down to the side. If they ever use the additional island over here, which is the site of one of the sites for a proposed coaster, they will make a bridge across here. It would make sense to keep half of this, but if they expanded the path round here, they could quite easily have a cut through, which would then go through the Swarm Island by the entrance. Hopefully that'll be the land for an RMC, but only time will tell. Pleasant around there. We've still got half the park to explore. The Rapids is now open. I noticed when we were on Stealth. So I think that's going to be our next ride, Rumble Rapids. Have a little sit down on that. and then we'll head past Nemesis. Now Nemesis isn't currently running, but I saw a member of the maintenance crew going up the lift of Nemesis, so hopefully it'll be running today, but there's nothing online saying it was shut, so we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Please remain seated at all times. Your arms and legs inside the coach.
So as it goes to the upkeep of Rumba Rapids, it's had a lick of paint, new paint on all the railings along here. It looks nice and fresh because of it. The roof tiles have had paint as well. Yeah, they have done the floor as well. So it's just a general piece of upkeep. As this is one of the more original rides in this park, it did have different boats and it has gone through a multitude of refeeds. A little bit of a queue for it, but it is a very quick queue, so we'll probably be waiting about 5-10 minutes for it. So they've got a new kiosk along here for the staff member, because they used to stand on the platform above, which I suppose is a good thing. And we've only been waiting barely 5 minutes, and we're just walking up to the ride now because they have a holding point where they join the two queues together. Anyway guys, you know the rules with the Merlin parks, no filming on the ride, so we'll see you after the Rumba Rapids. Who's going to get wettest?
Neither of us.
It's not a very wet one, this. Was not expecting to get wet on.
My mum's wet.
I'm actually a little bit wet after that. I said to Louise, I think what they do at the start of the season on this one is underneath the track you have what are called disturbers, or I believe that's what they're called. Basically these pipes which are under the track, they make the white water. And I think at the start of the season they have more in, and then as the season goes on I think they remove them, mainly because the weather is better at the start of the year. But yeah, we actually copped quite a few waves then, and if we sat on the other side of the boat we would have copped a mega wave and got soaked. So I got a little bit down my side, I don't know how well you can see it, I am wearing grey. But yeah, very impressed with that, it's running quite well, operations are good. They're not sharing the boats at the moment, so you will be on your own. I wonder whether that'll change during busier periods, as they have started sharing boats at all towns again. So Nemesis is still closed at the moment. They have a step-free access now, it's round the side past the smoking shelter. It's a shame this is closed. I'm going to actually ask in a minute to see if it's going to be opening any point during the day. Well, I don't know for sure. They would know if it's definitely not going to open because they would have been told. But normally on the boards this is closed all day. This is one of my favourite coasters in the park. Like, on a good day this is better than Swarm for me. But this is a Sandfield track. This is a Sandfield track. So this has the similar roar the Nemesis will have when it's Sandfield when it gets its retrack. Got all new accessible entrance, and you can just make out around the side here the new fast track queue they've got that along here with the actual cutout of Nemesis Inferno on it. It's quite cool. So we've just spoken with the operators at the entrance to the ride. It isn't going to be closed all day, hopefully. Not like I say, normally it says closed all day on the sign. It's just got a maintenance issue, but they haven't been testing it yet, so we'll just keep an eye on the app. And hopefully we'll get on this one later, as this one can get quite busy. Only runs 2 trains and it is very popular. But yeah, I do love this one. It's not as good as Nemesis at Alton Towers, but it is up there. It is a good coaster. So yeah, I think the storm really did have an effect on here. Round by the banana boat, Mr. Monkey's banana boat, you can see a lot more, can't you? This used to be all grown up more. So we've got the events lined up for this year. So we've got Mardi Gras, that's come over from Alton Towers. I imagine that'll be quite good. They're really good with their events here. Over the summer we're going to have the Carnival events. Oktoberfest and Fright Nights are of course returning this season, so we'll be back for them. I love Fright Nights here, although last year we didn't really get to do a vlog on it. I came here with Lewis and did trailers, but we didn't vlog it. Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride, the only surviving park ranger at Thorpe Park. For those of you who don't know, the park rangers were the mascots of the park back when the park was owned by the RMC company, not Rocky Mountain Construction. Ready Mix Concrete, who owned the quarry, they converted it to a theme park, and this was one of the mascots. Used to have the carousel just over here before Darren Brown's was built. But yeah, they've taken a lot of the theming off. It used to have an actual giant statue of Mr. Monkey on top, and even up to last season I believe it used to have like wooden supports up here that covered these bars. They've stripped it right back, which actually makes me very concerned that they could be removing this soon. It looks very barren. Back to So we've just run into a couple of other coaster enthusiasts. What was it, Box Boys UK? Just said hello, and we featured in their vlog for a little bit.
That was fun.
That was fun. Nice to meet you, and we hope to see you again soon.
I hope you're enjoying the
day.
day.
Hope you have a good day. Anyway, we're going to head down towards the Old Town area of the park to have a look at Project Exodus, the new coaster that's planned to be built in 2020. Well, it's going to be built at the end of this season for 2024. So it's going to be a long old wait, this one, but it should be worth it. Apparently they're putting signage up. I can already see construction walls, but the one that I was really interested in is I saw a picture, and I think, yes, it's around here. So they've got this mural here, which this is very clever here. So it just looks like a normal wall to your average person, but let me just get a bit closer. Lift hill, drop, first turnaround, and then we've got the second turnaround, and then the third bit that comes back round into the station. So yeah, it's like a bit of a mural to the Project Exodus, or that's what I read it as anyway. Sorry?
It's a waste bin behind you.
Yeah, it's just a storage area. But the interesting thing is, when we saw the original plans for this, there was a plan for a B&M hypercoaster, which would have seen the demolition of Burger King, the toilet block, and you would have started over here, where the traders queue is, and it would have come out and gone all the way off towards Samurai and Saw as a standard out and back layout. But they decided against that layout because it would have destroyed too many buildings, would have required the removal of the slammer, which is the only Sky SWAT left is standing but not operating, and Exodus kind of uses a smaller footprint up and still looks like quite an impressive layout. I am sad we're not going to be an M Hyper in the UK. No, we're not going to do Black Mirror. That's just disappointment, the ride. But yeah, I am mega excited for the mega coaster that is coming. From the plans, it's looking like a Mack Rides mega coaster. It's going to be 236 feet tall, which will top the record for the UK's tallest coaster. We'll be here throughout the season, especially later on down Monk's Walk, probably during the closed season this year, to watch construction. That is going to be a busy area with coaster enthusiasts this year. But yeah, we got Black Mirror Labyrinth. This was a bit of a disappointment. They aren't doing reservations for this one. You can just jump in the queue now, which is good. And I'm kind of curious. I want to see how much of a queue it's got, because I know it wasn't overly popular. Looks like pretty standard. Like, you'd wait probably about 15-20 minutes from the point there's queuing. I just think, to be honest, it's not that great. And I could see, as soon as that sponsorship ends, I could see this getting removed. Put another flat here. So construction walls are up. The plans, like I say, at this time haven't been approved, but it's looking very likely. There's no major objections, and they're starting to do removals. So in the years to come, we will be looking over here, and there will be a huge lift going up around here, 236 foot tall. I can't wait. Like, 2024 can't come soon enough. But they've got some advertising on here for all of the various events going on throughout the year. These areas are left blank, so maybe when it gets approved and construction starts, we'll see some advertising go up on that. So can't see a lot through the crack, but they are starting to remove stuff. Obviously the timber tugboat is gone, the lumber jumper is gone but relocated in this park, and the Rocky Express is still standing through there at the moment, but that is retiring. Louise has found a little nook. Can you see anything, Lou?
You really can't see anything.
Let me have a look. Let me get the camera
Quite a
around
big
there.
hole, actually.
So yeah, I can actually fit my hand through here. Let's just poke through and around. I'm like CCTV. So there is the area. Not a lot going on at the moment. Like I say, the plans haven't actually been approved yet, so they won't be doing too much. But the station for the roller coaster will roughly be where the old Canada Creek Railway is. Yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to be here throughout the season and next watching construction. So for those of you wondering, the entirety of Canada Creek or Old Town is closed this season. You can't get anywhere near it at all, and there's no viewing windows as of yet. I wonder if that'll be a thing they'll introduce later on. As this coaster goes up, it's kind of hard to hide because of how big it's going to be. We're just going to head round to where the old platform 15 entrance used to be and see whether there's any more. Again, we got some more blank spots here, which I could see being advertising boards for when the plans actually get approved. Obviously it won't tell us too much, but I can imagine it saying, like, you know, new roller coaster coming. You can actually, Lou, have a look right down the end there. You can just about make out the first little drop on Loggers Leap. They've still got it there. which is pretty cool. That was in a tunnel at one point. They did remove it because the building got all rotten. Oh, Louise just vlog bombed me. But yeah, that used to all be encased, and yeah, you used to go down the first drop there. So the Samurai saw a lot of maintenance work last season, but it seems to be back up and running as normal. We're going to have a look at Saw the Ride, have a look at the queue for that one, Lou. And then of course we got the birthday boy itself, the ride that put Thorpe Park on the map. Colossus is 20 this year with a 45-minute queue. I am sad to say though, they have not given this roller coaster any TLC, or at least to the paint job. It's one thing that I have been campaigning for a long time. This coaster really needs a repaint. So yeah, 2002 this opened. I came out here on opening week in 2002 with my family to ride this, and it was next level. There's no coaster like it at the time. Obviously it's held the world record up until the Smiler opened in 2013. It's a brilliant coaster, and I hope to get on it later, but Louise isn't the biggest fan of it, as it is a bit rough. The overhead restraints are known to be rough. But with Flamingo Land opening their new 10 inversion coaster later this season, it has been teased on the official Flamingo Land Instagram page. We'll be out there to cover that, as that is a 2.0 version of that roller coaster, which has a different drop, more like beefy track, and it has lap bar trains, which should make the ride a much more enjoyable experience. So at the moment you can't actually get round the path where Saw Alive used to be, which is strange. I know it was used as a scare maze, or a free walkthrough scare maze last season, but I've always said there's enough room if they strip this back, get rid of that old queue line over there. They can fit a flat ride on there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with this, as the Saw Alive barge is condemned, so it will have to come out at one point. What would you like to see there, Lou? An RMC. Yeah, I don't think it would go there, but yeah, Thorpe Park does need one. I've trained you well, Louise. So it's advertising a 35-minute queue, which for opening day isn't too bad, but we'll soon find out. Again, we've got the new board on the top here. Nice LEDs on there, but it could use a little facade round on this one. Again, it's looking quite bare around here. A lot of the trees have been blown down, and yeah, from what I can see, the queue is probably about right. It's not queuing in this cattle pen over here. They are using the extension queue, so we'll see where the end of the queue is and then get on Saw the Ride.
Have a great ride.
Just come off of Saw the Ride. We've got some of the street performers here at Thorpe Park, the thrill seekers, or thrill makers rather, roaming street entertainers along the park. It's good to see they're investing in this. They seem to have them in a lot of the Merlin parks now. I know at Alton Towers they have the police unit at the front. I can't think of the name of it now. But we're going to head towards the entrance, go get some lunch, and then carry on with the day. What do you think of your ride on there? Yeah, they've got the water effect working on the body on the first inversion in the dark ride section. Oh, went in my mouth and everything. Like, yeah, I was not expecting it because it hasn't worked for a few seasons. But yeah, it's good to see that it's working again. I do like the Saw the Ride. I just hate the ride type. It's so jerky, so rough.
I don't mind it, but I've got padding.
And you always sit on the inside. That's one of the rules. Louise has to sit on the inside of that. And the outside of the Gerstau Eurofighter is known to be quite rough. Anyway, we've got Colossus here. Hopefully we'll get on this one later. It's got a 45-minute queue at the moment. I think that's probably a bit overestimated, but I think they are only running one train on this at the moment. It does seem to be very slow. It would give them more reason to add the lap bar trains into it, give it a full refurb. I love Colossus. It is a brilliant coaster. Like I say, I have much love for it because it was one of those rides that really, put coasters on the map for me. It put this park on the map for sure. I'm very excited to get out to Flamingo Land later in the season to ride the version 2.0 of this. my favourite soundtrack in the whole park is the I'm a Score remix of the Colossus soundtrack. It's just so majestic. Like I say, please Thorpe Park, I will preach this until you do it. Repaint this ride. We were looking on Thorpe Park Nostalgia, which is an Instagram page, and the original colour of this coaster is so faded now. Like honestly, it used to be so deep, like turquoise. This track, it's so washed out. It's unbelievable. So yeah, look, not the power of 10, the power of Eunice. So this area was damaged quite badly by Storm Eunice. I know around the side up here, they actually lost some of the theming. So they're actually the like framework for the building. It used to have this like little pattern across the top, and it's been removed because it fell off during Storm Eunice. They're actually doing a little bit of work on it, but I very much doubt they're going to theme it back up to how it used to be. So yes, Eunice took no prisoners with Colossus. A bit of damage on the building there. Hopefully they'll put some work into it soon. So the beach has seen some work this season, mainly over by depth charge. They got rid of the wet slides, which are just where that marquee was in front of there. I do reckon the days of this place are numbered. It doesn't really fit the demograph, and
well, it's because they only let like families in, which I totally understand, but
it's not a family park at the end of the day. And realistically, this is a huge plot of land. This could easily house a reasonably sized RMC, or an RMC would obstruct the view quite a bit.
Even like a little child, small area.
Yeah, it just
want to keep it just family based.
Yeah, definitely. It does need some work to it because like, the old theming's starting to come through on it. Just needs a bit of TLC, to be honest. So we've just stopped off for lunch. We bought our own lunch, so we were out in the car park. We're just coming to the main shop at the Dome to see what's on offer. Is there any more on offer here other than the Mega Store?
No.
In particular, like I say, the merch is pretty standard here. They've got all this like merch of the various rides and all that, which I don't dislike it. I like the jumpers, but the t-shirts are a little bit plain compared to what is on offer elsewhere. But yeah, if you want pyjamas, they do offer pyjamas here because of the Thorpe Shark Hotel. Various selection of mugs. It looks like there might be some new ones here. The Colossus one looks new. When it comes to generic merch, they do have the t-shirt with all the logos on it. I do like this. This is like a new line for the 2022 season across all their Merlin parks. And they do have a generic Thorpe Park t-shirt here. It's alright, 20 quid, not too bad. No frills. Like I said, it's a basic t-shirt they're using on all of their t-shirts this year. So when we came in earlier, I didn't really discuss this, but they're actually building a new play park along here, which is a bit strange really, because it's not really a park that would have a play park. Looks like it's going to take up quite a lot of land. This play park is going to be accessible, so it's available for everyone to access, all the apparatus. For example, here's the merry-go-round here, you've got a slide. Looks like they're going to be doing more work over here. But also, one thing that I didn't notice earlier is they actually got rid of this little kiosk here, which was the depth charge photo shop. And then I believe it was where you got your disability passes and all that for the day. So that's going to lead into this massive area. This massive area now is used for picnicking. Looks like they could put some more benches along here. The toilets under the dome at the moment are being refurbished, so they're closed at the moment, which is a little bit of a pain, as the Swarm also has its toilets unavailable due to a water pressure issue.
Refresh and refill stations.
Yes, I've paid to reactivate the refresh and refill flask, which is £9, but they were offering an annual pass discount here, so I only paid £7. However, a few of them aren't working. Like there's one in the dome that isn't working. The one over by Rush is closed. The one by Tidal Weather has been relocated. I don't know where to. And yeah, I think they need to get them operating a bit better, as it is quite expensive to activate them. So we're heading down towards Rumba Rapids. Flying Fish is sadly closed. We wanted to do that, didn't we, after lunch, Lou? See our Thorpe Shark back there. We stayed in one of those rooms literally opposite where I'm looking now. Flying Fish is sadly down at the moment, as is the Storm Surge, which was what we wanted to do once we had our lunch. But sadly they're both down at the moment, which is a bit of a pain because it's lovely weather, especially for Storm Surge. It gives you the right level of like wetness, if I can say that. And yeah, I think we're going to head over towards Rumble Rapids. Maybe have a look at Nemesis Q a little bit later on, as it is advertising 40 minutes. About 2.5 hours of operations left. So along here is where the wet slides were. These were barely ever used. I don't know whether they were ever used recently, but they were the water slides for the beach. And they're gone now, so they've got this large area, which, again, if they got rid of the old container here, which was a scare maze, they could potentially put a flat ride here. So the Lumber Jumper is the only ride returning from Old Town, and it's been repurposed in Amity as the High Striker. They're actually just testing the sound effects and all that, which is quite interesting. I like the repurpose. It's had a full repaint, full lick of paint on it. It looks really good, and for reference, it is opposite Storm Surge. Yeah, short little queue on it. I imagine it'd be much more popular here as it's in a much higher traffic flow area, but I'm loving the sound effects and the
I love how they've got everything all set up.
Yeah, so yeah, it's only going to have a little tiny queue. But yeah, I'm loving the repurpose of this ride. So for those of you who don't know, Timber Tugboat has been relocated, or is in the process of being relocated at the moment, to Chessington World of Adventures. It's going to go in Pirates Cove. Just next to where Seastorm is, there's that little arcade that was kind of unused. They're going to relocate it there. As for the Rocky Express, that is sadly retiring, and I know, it's an original ride. It's so sad.
I love that one. I've been on that many times with you.
It is a good little like family ride, and it'll be very sad to see it go, but it is getting replaced by Exodus. So I mean, that's a good trade-off in my books. But yeah, I think we're going to head around towards Rumble Rapids now via Nemesis. Have a look at the queue for that. Nemesis Beast. So as we come over towards Darren Brown's Ghost Train, the mural that's on the wall here has carried on around this corner. This was blank last year. We'll just put some stripes on here. I think that looks pretty tasteful. Then you've got the...
You're going to say tasty.
I suppose it could be tasty. Then you've got the original bit of artwork that was put in. This was covered by the stage, but the stage is gone now, so I don't know what's happening there, whether it'll be coming back for the other events. But yeah, I like what they did here. It was funny when they first did it, and the German company that painted it did Colossus with a U there, because that's how it's spelled in Germany. Or no, sorry, it might have been an O there, I can't remember. But yeah, it was spelled wrong, but they have fixed that. It looks pretty good. Darren Brown's Ghost Train is on a 10-minute queue at the moment. I think we'll do that one later. You need a time ticket to ride that one still, Lou. So yeah, we'll have to give it a go. We do like to go on Darren Brown's Ghost Train at least once or twice a season. But yeah, you know our views on this one. It's all right the first couple of times, but then when the effects don't work, it's a bit of a letdown. Nemesis now, Nemesis Inferno. It's advertising a 45-minute queue. It's just queuing from around here, so I think that's about the money. But yeah, for those of you wondering about the sand-filled track on Nemesis when it gets its retrack next season, this is what it will sound like, because this already has sand-filled track. So I'll get some shots and you can compare. It does still have a substantial roar, but nowhere near what Nemesis has at Alton Towers. That will be sorely missed. So how long did we wait for that in the end, Lou? Time it?
I did, but I
She is the timekeeper. So it's a little bit more than advertised. Actually, it's 45 advertised when we got in, wasn't it? But they did drop it down to 25. I love a ride on Nemesis Inferno. It's a really good coaster. Like I say, it's got nothing on Nemesis, but Nemesis is good in its own way because it hugs the terrain.
It's not as intense as Nemesis.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it is still a good coaster.
Yeah.
But on a good day, it's better than Stetman's. On a good day, it's better than Swarm for me, but no, Swarm wins today. Had a little bit of a rattle, but I enjoy it. The only thing that's downside with the Nemesis Inferno here is it's got slow operations. Never seems to be in a hurry to dispatch. Anyway, we're going to head over to Storm Surge. It's back up and running now. Louise wants to get on it. Hopefully we should be able to get on it. There's no restrictions in place now. So yeah, let's get on Storm Surge. I haven't been on it. I don't think we went it all last season, did we? So yeah, over to Storm Surge. Louise is going to be distraught. The sign has just changed to closed. It's gone down again. Literally while you were in the toilet, it broke down again. So yeah, we're not going to be getting on Storm Surge. Do you want to go over to Rush while we're over this end of the park? Oh, Louise is not happy. We've got some of the street entertainers around here. Sorry. So yeah, we're not going to get on Storm Surge anytime soon.
Thank you so much for coming back to the island like no other. Recreate the highs and the vibes and add a splash of colour to your life. That's it, come on down to the dance floor. Right foot now, left foot, and cha-cha. Show me your best cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. And turn it out. All right. Take it back now, y'all.
One half, please.
Oh, we're gonna go full out. Here you go, pop it. Together, clap, pop it. Together, grab that child. Grab that child and roll it forward. Here we go. That's it, for the top. Pump it now. And back. Pump it. Grab that child. All my line, all my line. That's it. Come on down, everyone. Follow the drill makers. They are the drill makers and they're looking for you drill seekers. Do come and do the
So it's great to see some excellent entertainment offerings at the park. That stage was being set up earlier.
If he's such a sponsor, he doesn't blame me.
I can't dance. I cannot dance to save my life. I think we're going to go over to Rush now, yeah? Louise's favourite.
God.
You love Rush. The Storm Surge is broken down. Like, imagine how bad the boats must be flooded right now. Because yeah, Storm Surge is currently just sitting in the exit path there. And I can see everyone's got their feet up though. That one is a nightmare. The boats do slowly flood when it's not running. So yeah, people have their legs up. Here's what we're looking at going on next. Rush, the 2005 Screaming Swing. Quick fact of the day, when Rush opened in 2005, it was the largest SNS Screaming Swing in the world. Before this one was made, they used to only have a capacity of 4 riders, or maybe 8 riders, I can't remember, per gondola. And this one smashed that. Like, literally, I think it holds 16 per gondola, which obviously is the standard now. And I'm so glad they have, because it's probably one of the best rides SNS actually offer. When they bought this, they got a Sky Swap with it, which was a slammer, which is now standing but not operating. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see that one going anytime soon. Barely any weight for Rush there. I love it. It's a brilliant. It's probably only bested by Detonator because I'm a fanboy of drop towers. You like start off alright, then you hate it because the floater you get at the top if you give yourself a little bit of room is crazy.
Down, it's when I'm up on my back.
It's the floater you get. Anyway, we're just coming up past to go to the Swarm again, and Infinity Bar has changed its name. This place has literally changed its name so often.
I do not like the new name.
It was Fins, wasn't it? And then it was Infinity, which I really liked, and I liked the branding, and now it's Vibes. Now, we've never actually eaten in there, but when you stay in the hotel, that is where you get your breakfast and dinner. And like, we had a really good time when we stayed there, didn't we?
That was so much fun.
It was really nice weather. It was about May, actually, our anniversary, wasn't it? We did a UK tour and ended here going up to Legoland for the opening of Mythica. And it was great. So we came here, you were allowed to walk all around this area, like down to nearly depth charge, yeah.
sunny.
The weather was nice like today. It was just picture perfect. I really enjoyed the Thorpe Shark, and I didn't think that I would, because it's only little tiny cabins. Anyway, yeah, we're going to head down to Swarm now, as it's a 0-minute queue. I think a lot of the schools are gone now because it really has dropped off.
Yeah.
Although Storm Surge isn't back up yet, so I think after this we're going to have to start looking at what we want to do. I want to get Colossus done today, but I'm thinking that might be last ride of the day.
I don't want to.
I'm feeling a barbecue for dinner tonight. It's like nearly 20 degrees. It's glorious.
We're so English for British.
Yeah, like the temperature goes up slightly and we're straight on the barbecue. But yeah, it was like this last season, and my god, this park is amazing with blue skies. Every time I want to film a cinematic here though, it's quite dreary and rainy. I remember I filmed a cinematic last year and the weather changed just for it and it was raining. But yeah, let's head over to Swarm Island and get back on the Swarm. Now it's a little bit quieter along here. We can actually pay attention to these signs a lot more. Risk of abduction, do not venture past this point, stay home. I do like it. It's just little things that like make the theming more immersive. Hopefully they'll be having these street performers back later in the season for Fright Nights. So this is Merlin pretty much on top of their game. They do a really good theme when it comes to destruction.
Yeah,
like
horror
and destruction, they're brilliant at it, and I think it's just because what you need can be junk. Like, fair enough, they actually got the tail end of a real plane on the side and chopped it up for this ride. It was very controversial because Heathrow is 8 miles away from here, and I think it upset quite a few people. But yeah, Merlin have always been good at this sort of theme. I was speaking with Louise earlier about Project Exodus, and to be honest, I really hope they don't go with the horror decimation theme for it. I hope that Exodus is a hero roller coaster rather than a villain.
Yeah.
Because Merlin as a whole, like, you think of their roller coasters, Swarm, it's a villain. Nemesis, villain. Saw, 13, Smiler. We need a nice happy roller coaster. It's just like the Ride to Happiness, for example. That's what I would call a hero roller coaster. And like I say, don't get me wrong, they do it really well. Yeah, literally, that is a superhero roller coaster. But yeah, I would like to see them do something that isn't destroyed or derelict, as it is like a cheaper way of doing a theme. I really hope Project Exodus, I don't even know what I'd want the theme to be. They could go more generic, but yeah, I just don't want to see another destruction horror coaster. Favourite roller coaster in this park is Buttery Smooth. Mid-train there, what do you think of it?
There it is.
Oh, she's talking about the flying fish. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a ride on that. Front row is good. They don't have a dedicated queue, so it means you can just queue for it if you want. It may take a few extra cycles, but it's really dropping off now. We're in coming up to the last half an hour, I'd say. Yeah, 35 minutes. So as Louise was just saying, we're just going to go to the fish now. It's kind of shadowed by the Swarm, but the flying fish, it's a perfect little Macrise powered coaster. Same layout as the one at Chessington World of Adventures, the Runaway Train, or Scorpion Express as it's now called. However, this one lacks theming, doesn't it, Lou? It used
something magnificent.
It would be nice. Like, it was relocated when Stealth was built. 2005, it was removed from the park, and everyone was like, no, it's gone. But yeah, it's now. It was put back in 2007, I believe. Got a little bit of a queue. We should be on it within one cycle, so you'll see you after a ride on the fish. A walk on the fish there. It's a fan favourite, like, it's a simple
5 laps.
5 laps on that, no queue for it afterwards. We're going to head over to Rumble Rapids now. We're now in the last 25 minutes of operation. Storm Surge is still down though. She's gutted. They won't, they'll probably have given up by now. Yeah, we're going to head over to Rumble Rapids, and then I think the plan after that, Louise is
going to go on Colossus, and I'm
going to go on Storm Surge, I'm working.
I'm going to go on The Walking Dead.
Until it closes. Keep going, she's in the queue. So yeah, we'll see you over by Rumble Rapids, and then we'll hopefully get on Colossus for the end of the day. So it's going to be one of our last rides of the day. Rumble Rapids, only a 5-minute queue, which probably means it's going to be a walk-on. So sadly, got right to the front of the queue for Rumble Rapids, and it broke down. he stopped.
We only waited like 2 minutes.
Yeah, if that. So it's not a real problem. It's coming up to 10:02 now. So I think we're going to head over towards Old Town and Lost City. I know we.
The old nitrogen sign in there.
They're using it as storage, aren't they? Oh, I can't even see through there. Yeah, but Louise isn't the biggest fan of Colossus, and I'm like, let's get it last ride of the day. We'll queue for the front. So yeah, we'll walk over there. We've got like 5-10 minutes to. We'll go 10 minutes to get over there, and we'll have a look at the queue, and then we'll decide as to whether we're going to be getting on Colossus as our last ride of the day. So, we're going to be last ride of the day, Colossus. Park closes in 5 minutes. It's one of the benefits of Merlin Parks. They do not close the ride queue until the park closes. So, let's get on the 20-year-old birthday boy, Colossus. So according to the Colossus team, that queue there is an hour. Something tells me they don't want you on this one, Lou. They're like, it's going to have an hour-long queue. Because on the app, it updated from a 40-minute queue to 60 minutes. And I was expecting, like, oh God, we're going to be waiting a good half an hour for this. However, that is the queue. Like, it does take a little bit longer. I wonder if they're just running the one train. Like I say, Colossus is always slow with operations. Not sure why. But yeah, I'm excited to get back on this one. We're going to go for the front, aren't we, Lou, if possible? Because it is quite rough. I remember back 20 years ago queuing through all of this, and all down here was a lake. In fact, it has filled up with a bit of water. But yeah, this all used to be a lake bed along here. And yeah, it was a long old queue. I think about 2 hours I waited. The RMC 2020. They've tried painting over it by the looks of it to no avail. One day we will have an RMC here. For now we'll just deal with this Intamin multi-inversion coaster.
This is fourth go round now.
So, we have just come off of Colossus. Louise only did one ride on
I
it.
can only handle one.
But because of the last few front ride trains, I actually got 5 rides on that. Now, they ran out of people for the front row after the third one. And then they just went round a few times. And like on the re-rides, I had to move from the second row further back. So I was in about row 10. All I can say after 5 rides, I don't know what my ears showing.
Yeah, they're very red.
But they need lap bars on them so bad. I love Colossus. It is a brilliant coaster. When you go on it consecutively, like, you realise it's got quite a lot of G-force on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a brilliant coaster. That's put a smile on my face. Had a really good day today, and like that.
Yeah, that was so fun
That was
today.
fun.
I always have such an. Don't we always say we have the best days here?
When the weather is lovely like this as well. I love Thorpe Park to pieces. I wish it all the best. I hope Exodus gets approved, and we will be here covering construction throughout the year, and we'll be here vlogging again, no doubt. Anyway guys, be sure to smash that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe with the notification bell, and we will see you in the next video. Until then, bye.